Okay, let's introduce our next guest.
Let's bring her on.
All right, we've got Suzanne Meyer with us today. Hello,
Woohoo.
Suzanne.
Hello.
Woohoo.
Good morning.
Not only do we have a business person here, but we have co-host of the Thursday morning show that's on the same time as our show called Around the Lake.
That's changing next week. We're going to be switching to a half-hour show.
So to start at 8 or 8:30?
8:30. 8:30 to 9 every Thursday starting in August.
Around the Lake. It's a great show, and you know,
There's nobody, and I mean nobody, in our area, from all the villes, from Statesville all the way to Huntersville, that knows what Suzanne Meyer knows. That's just a fact.
Well, thanks, Joe.
And I totally agree. And as Joe and I know, sometimes if you run a business show or any kind of show that's related to business, you don't get a chance to talk about your own business. So we wanted to have you in here and talk about what you do as one of the more successful businesswomen in the Villes, as Joe would say.
Thank you so much. It's fun to be here. And you're right, though. On Around the Lake, I don't really like to talk about my business because it's all about our guests. Our guests have so much to say, and there's so many interesting people doing great things in the community. So I always like to learn about what they're doing.
Yeah, it's our job, I guess, as a co-host. So let's talk. You've got a lot of roles, but the main thing that you do is the Welcome Committee.
Yes, that's my main job. That's how I started, and then all these other jobs kind of came out of that. And, you know, people just ask me to do things like, can you do a press release for me? Or like when I met Brian a couple years ago, hey, can you host a radio show for us? I'm like, so I say yes to a lot of things. So I have a lot of jobs, but they're a lot of fun. And, you know, like you said, you have to be passionate. And I agree, like the three things that you mentioned earlier, like having a firm financial foundation when you start a business, finding a mentor, and being passionate. And Joe, what you said about being disciplined, you know, those all have to be in your business plan because they're so true. If you're lacking any one of those, you won't be successful. So, and finding a good team, you know, because like one person cannot do it all. I can't. You have to delegate. You know, you have to have the vision and then put it in writing, you know, like your business plan and your marketing plan, and get good people, you know, surround yourself with good people to follow that plan through.
Absolutely. And I just love the business model of the Welcome Committee. I mean, you do, it's one of those things where people are happy on both sides. First of all, you visit newcomers and you give an opportunity for businesses to advertise and get seen and known. So explain how all that works.
Right. Well, newcomers are a great brand new consumer because, you know, our area is growing, as you know. You can just look at I-77 to know that. And the Lake Norman Charlotte region is supposed to grow 52% over the next 14 years. And it's been going gangbusters, you know. So we get the home closings twice a week, and I have a staff of 12. And I email those we call them leads, which are the home closings, and we just show up at their door with a basket of information to help get those newcomers plugged into the community. And businesses can participate. We have a lot of, you know, well-known businesses, hospitals, doctors' offices, veterinarians, you know, things that newcomers are looking for that they need. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, even civic information like where the recycling centers are and the library and how to register to vote.
Yeah, it's what's so great about the business. Your clients are looking for this information.
Oh yeah,
you know, and that's what's so great about it.
And we provide them with a report each month. So at the end of the month, after we've visited, you know, we do a personal introduction inside the newcomer's home. Now these are brand new consumers that have no shopping habits or buying loyalties. Some of them are coming from overseas. Some of them are coming from California, Ohio, Michigan, New York. You know, they're coming from all over. So when they settle here in the Lake Norman area, they're looking for doctors, for dentists, for vets, for a hair salon. They're looking for restaurants. They're looking for products and services and to establish long-term relationships. So we come in at a time when they're green, you know, they're looking for stuff, and we present, the businesses provide us with coupons, gift certificates, you know, things that will get them in the door to their business, and then it's up to them to sell them.
You call them green, and I know what you mean, but the truth is they really do need to know this information.
They do, and so we make it easier for them because, you know, we were all newcomers at one time. I mean, 22, 23 years ago, I was a newcomer to this area, and it's very overwhelming. I have 3 kids now, but at the time I had 2 kids. One was 6 months, one was 18 months, and I didn't know a soul. I knew my husband, but he was off at work every day.
Right.
And I wanted to work, but, I was at that time a stay-at-home mom. I didn't even know where the library was to take my kids to story time. So about a week after moving in, I had a Welcome Wagon visit, because Welcome Wagon, they're not in business anymore. Well, the name is still around, but they don't do the welcoming anymore. So, but they were the ones who welcomed me to the community, and it really helped me to get plugged in. And it made a real big impact on me. So I called the home office in Connecticut after the lady left my home. I didn't want to ask her because I didn't want her to think I wanted her job, but I did. But
you thought, I know what you were thinking. I can do a better job than this. I know what you were thinking.
I won't say that. But I wanted to do it because it looked like a lot of fun. It looked like it was a flexible job too, because I had kids and I still wanted to be at home with my kids. And that's what this job has also afforded me, is you can work. You get out of it what you put into it, like anything in life. And, at the time when I initially came on with Welcome Wagon, and I worked for them for 3.5 years. And then in 1998, when the internet came out, Welcome Wagon sold their trademark name, and it's been sold 3 times since. But they thought, well, newcomers won't get their information face-to-face anymore. This is an antiquated way of marketing. So they thought people would get their information through the internet. Well, I was really surprised when a lot of my Welcome Wagon sponsors came to me and said, look, we're going to pay you to keep doing what you're doing, because this is how we introduce ourselves to newcomers and forge relationships. And I thought, wow, I've got nothing to lose.
And the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah. So I rewrote the contracts. I met with an attorney. I, incorporated. I'm an S Corp. People think this is volunteer, which in a way, I guess that's a good thing, because they don't know we're actually a business.
Right.
People say, oh, that looks like such a fun job. Can I work for you? And they want to volunteer. I'm like, no, you would get paid. They're like, you mean I get paid for that? But there are goals. Like we have, each of my Welcome Committee girls has a specific goal. Like in Huntersville, we do 50 visits a month. In Mooresville, we do 60 visits a month. So at the end of the month, they have to turn in reports, which I then send to all of our sponsors. And it's an Excel spreadsheet. It has the name of every newcomer, their address, their phone number, where they moved from, how many kids they have. We put the ages of the kids. We put their email. We put what state or country they moved from.
Put whether they have pets or not.
We
too,
do
right?
put pets down because we have veterinarians, we have pet groomers, dog walkers.
Yeah, it's such a great help for your advertisers in your in what you're providing the newcomers.
Well, they can invite them.
Yeah. Then they've got a list of prospects. I think that's great.
Well, we have preschools like the Goddard School and Primrose School, so they look for the ages that are 5 and under on our list. So they'll invite them in for an open house. We have the veterinarians will then send, pet coupons, like we're having February is dental cleaning month. So, there's an excuse to be top of mind, to constantly market, because these are new consumers who have no shopping habits. So why not bring them in? It's a perfect win-win.
As you know, Suzanne, we've got to go to break because somebody gets paid in this station. It's just not us, as you know. If there's any question that Suzanne knows what she's talking about, she actually wrote the book on how to do this. Talk a little bit about that, because I know you've sold quite a few of these.
Yeah, I've sold, well, initially when I wrote the book, it's a franchise style manual, because initially I was going to franchise my business model, but then I kind of did it backwards. I wrote the book first, and then I went to see a franchise attorney, and then I realized how expensive it was to franchise and all the fees, and I'm like, I was overwhelmed, and I said, I don't want to franchise. So I said, well, I already wrote the book, and I made a DVD and an instructional DVD. What do I do now? He said, just sell it as information. So it's $299, which is, if I was going to sell it as a franchise, he placed it as $45,000 and $55,000. I said, I can't do that. Yeah. I thought that was crazy. So all the contracts are in the book, the policies and procedures, the business plan, everything a business, an entrepreneur could want to know. It's right up there. Plus, I give free, like you said, find a mentor. So I'm their mentor. Like, they can ask me anything. I don't charge a fee. Once they buy my book, I'm theirs. So they could call me, email me questions, and I've sold.
How can I get that book?
Just go, it's right on my website,
Okay.
thewelcomecommittee.net.